Once upon a time, in a cozy, sun-dappled cottage nestled at the edge of a sleepy village, lived Arthur. A simple man with a grand dream, and a heart as warm as his hearth. His days were filled with gentle routines, tending to his garden, sipping tea by the fire, and sharing quiet moments with his loyal dog Winston. Arthur adored cheese, especially the crumbly, tangy Wensleydale that reminded him of childhood picnics and laughter echoing through green fields. But beyond his love for cheese, he nursed a secret wish. He longed for a castle of his own, a place where dreams could grow as tall as the turrets he imagined. Each morning, Arthur would stand by his window, gazing out at the neat row of clay houses lining his street. He wondered how a regular fellow like him, with pockets never quite full, could ever hope to own more than his tiny patch of earth. The world outside seemed so vast, and his dreams at times felt impossibly far away. Still, Arthur was not one to give up easily. He spent his evenings tinkering at his workbench, inventing peculiar contraptions, some clever, some comical, all crafted with care. Yet, despite his efforts, his savings grew slower than a snail on Sunday, and the castle in his mind remained just that, a dream. One rainy afternoon, as thunder rumbled and raindrops tapped the window panes, Arthur decided to tidy the attic. Amidst the dust and forgotten treasures, he stumbled upon an old leather-bound book, its title gleaming in gold, The Millionaire Map, a grand guide to property. The book was a marvel, bursting with clay-modeled stories that seemed to leap off the page. It told of ordinary people, bakers, teachers, dreamers, who built fortunes not overnight but brick by brick, with patience and pluck. Each tale was a spark, lighting up the possibilities that lay hidden in plain sight. What struck Arthur most was that these stories weren't about daunting numbers or impossible odds. They were about homes filled with laughter, families working together, and clever thinking turning small beginnings into something grand. The book made the world of property feel less like a fortress and more like a friendly village. The message was simple and clear: you don't need a mountain of gold to begin your journey. All it takes is a bit of courage, a thoughtful plan, and the patience to see it through. Even the grandest castles, the book promised, start with a single well-placed brick. As Arthur read, a gentle hope began to glow inside him, warming him from the inside out. Maybe, just maybe, his dream wasn't so far-fetched after all. Perhaps the first step was simply believing it could be done. He settled into his armchair. Winston curled up at his feet and turned the page with a sense of excitement. The secrets of the clay world were waiting for him, and for the first time, Arthur felt ready to learn them all. The journey to his own little castle, Arthur realized, might not be as impossible as he once thought. It could begin right here, right now, with a single, hopeful action, a brick placed with care, a plan set in motion, and a dream held close. Smiling, Arthur leaned down and whispered to Winston, "We're onto a good thing here, lad. Our adventure is just beginning, and who knows where it might lead." So, what is real estate really? It's a term you hear all the time, on the news, in conversations, maybe even in your own dreams of the future. But what does it actually mean? And why does it matter so much to so many people? Simply put, real estate is land and everything attached to it. Homes where families live, shops where people work and shop, and even those empty fields waiting for something new to be built. It's the physical space that makes up our towns and cities. The clever bit? You can actually own a piece of this world. Whether it's a cozy cottage, a bustling storefront, or a patch of land, owning property means having a stake in something real and lasting. Property is a solid, tangible thing you can see, touch, and even improve, a slice of the world to call your own, to shape and care for as you please. It's not just an idea, it's something you can walk through, paint, or plant a garden beside. Why does owning property make people wealthy? For starters, its value can rise over time. As neighborhoods grow and cities expand, the land and buildings you own can become more desirable, and more valuable. Buy a house, look after it, and years later it could be worth much more than you paid. Improvements you make, like fixing the roof or planting trees, can add even more value, turning your home into a growing investment. It's a bit like planting a money tree and patiently watching it grow. Over time, your investment can bear fruit, sometimes in surprising ways. Another way property builds wealth is through rent. If you own more than one property, you can let someone else live or work there, and they'll pay you rent each month for the privilege. Buy a second property, let someone else move in, and suddenly, you have a steady stream of income. It's like your property is working for you, even while you sleep. The rent helps cover your costs, like the mortgage, repairs, and taxes. And if you're clever, there's some left over for you to save, spend, or invest elsewhere. Unlike investments that bounce around with the ups and downs of the stock market, property is steady and reliable. People always need a place to live, work, and gather, no matter what's happening in the world. It's a long-term plan, like brewing the perfect pot of tea, slow, steady, and rewarding if you have the patience to wait. With patience and care, property can become the foundation of a grand fortune, supporting you and your family for generations. That's why so many fortunes, both big and small, are built on bricks and mortar. Real estate isn't just about buildings, it's about building a future. But I don't have a mountain of cash, you might say. It's a common worry. Most of us imagine you need a huge pile of money to even think about buying a home. The idea of saving up for a house can feel overwhelming, especially when you see those big numbers and think, how could I ever afford that? Good news, you don't need one. In fact, almost nobody starts out with a fortune. Most people begin with just a little bit and build from there. The journey to owning your own place is all about taking manageable steps, not giant leaps. Most people start with a mortgage, a loan from the bank. This is how millions of people get their foot on the property ladder. The bank helps you buy your first home by lending you most of the money, so you don't have to wait decades to save up the full amount. You put down a small chunk called a down payment, and the bank covers the rest. This down payment is usually a percentage of the home's price, sometimes as little as 5% or 10%. The bank then loans you the rest, which you pay back over time. It's like buying a giant cake with just enough for a big slice. The baker lets you pay the rest over time. You get to enjoy your home while you pay it off, bit by bit, instead of waiting until you can buy the whole thing outright. Start by saving for that down payment. Even if it feels small, every coin you put aside is progress. Set a realistic goal and chip away at it, week by week, month by month. Label your savings, "My First Brick Fund." Give your goal a name and make it real. It's easier to stay motivated when you can see your progress and know exactly what you're working toward. Every pound saved is a step closer to your goal. Think of each deposit as laying another brick in the foundation of your future. It might not seem like much at first, but over time, those small steps add up. Once you've saved enough, talk to the bank. They'll look at your savings, your income, and help you figure out what you can afford. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Banks are used to helping first-time buyers. If they say yes, you're ready to go house hunting. That's when things get exciting. You'll finally get to look at real homes and imagine your life inside them. Start small. A modest flat or house is perfect. Your first home doesn't have to be your forever home. It's about getting started and learning the ropes. The key is to get started, not to buy a mansion on day one. Remember, even the biggest property empires began with a single, humble purchase. That first property is your stepping stone. It's your launch pad to bigger things, and it gives you valuable experience for the future. With discipline and patience, you'll build your own portfolio, one brick at a time. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your dreams. The important thing is to begin. Don't let the size of the goal stop you from taking that first step. Every journey starts with a single move forward. Your dream starts with that first step. So gather your courage, start saving, and remember, even the grandest adventures begin with a single, simple action. Here's the magic. Property appreciates, meaning its value rises over time. Why? Land is limited, but people keep needing homes. As towns improve, new shops, schools, transport, demand grows, and so do prices. Your house's value can rise just by being in the right place at the right time. Now add leverage. You use a small down payment to control a big asset. If your house goes up in value, your return on investment can be huge. Plus, as you pay your mortgage, you own more of the house. This is called building equity. So your wealth grows two ways: the house goes up in value, and your debt goes down. Over years, this can turn a small investment into a large fortune. It's a powerful, passive way to build wealth. Let your money and your house work for you. That's the real magic of property. Know you've been a good friend. Once you own an investment property, you can rent it out and become a landlord. Your tenant pays rent, giving you steady income each month. The goal? Collect more in rent than you spend on mortgage and expenses. The leftover is called cash flow, pure profit. A good landlord keeps tenants happy and the property in shape. Happy tenants stay longer and pay on time. Meanwhile, rent pays down your mortgage, building your equity. Over time, you could own several properties, all bringing in income. That's the path to financial freedom, and maybe a cheese seller or two. Finding the right property is like finding the perfect pair of trousers. It must fit your plans. The best deals are often made when you buy, not when you sell. Look for houses with potential, fixer-uppers in good locations. Talk to estate agents, drive around and spot neglected homes. Location is key. Good schools, transport, parks, and shops matter. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Ask for less than the asking price. Do your homework. Know what similar homes have sold for. A smart buy gives you instant equity and sets you up for profit from day one. Struggling with the down payment? Get creative. Team up with a friend or family member. Pool your savings and share the profits. Try house hacking. Buy a place with extra rooms or flats, live in one, rent the rest. The rent can cover most or all of your mortgage. Seller financing is another option. Pay the seller directly instead of a bank. Or try buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Fix up a property, rent it out, refinance, and use the cash to buy another. With creativity, you can start building wealth sooner than you think. Real people have used these strategies to change their lives. Brenda and Bob, two teachers, saved up, bought a small house, fixed it up, and watched its value rise as the area improved. They used the new value to buy a second property and started their own little property empire. Sam, a mechanic, used house hacking, bought a tired house split into flats, lived in one, rented the others, and covered his mortgage. These weren't financial geniuses, just ordinary folks with a plan and persistence. They started small, learned as they went, and built security over time. Their success came from steady effort, not luck. If they can do it, so can you. So, the Millionaire Map isn't a secret treasure, it's a real, achievable plan. Property grows in value, renting creates income, and clever strategies help you start with little. The journey begins with a single step. Decide to take control of your financial future. Start learning, read, watch, ask questions. Open a savings account, call it your freedom fund, and add to it regularly. Get to know your local property market. Visit open houses, study prices, and spot trends. When you're ready, you'll recognize a good deal because you've done your homework. Building wealth through property is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be ups and downs, but people will always need homes. By owning property, you're building a solid foundation for your future. So what are you waiting for? Your adventure starts now. Take that first step today. The dream of your own castle, cheese seller optional, is closer than you think.